This is a recording of this year's Virtual Residency Fair. We'd like to take the time to thank the programs that volunteered their time to present to this year's applicants. This year's PM&R Scholars Virtual Residency Fair is supported by PM&R Recap and Ultrasound Guidance. PM&R Recap is the leading resource for your physiatry board preparation, clinical preparation, audition rotations, and beyond. PM&R Recap offers 35 hours of review videos, hundreds of review questions, and oral board cases to help you become the best physiatrist that you can be. Head to pmnrrecap.com to learn more. Ultrasound Guidance is the innovative new online ultrasound learning platform that gives you instant access to expert instruction. With rapid scans and complete scans of every joint and peripheral nerve, Ultrasound Guidance is the perfect way to jumpstart your MSK ultrasound learning. Visit ultrasoundguidance.com to learn more.
Great. All right. So my name's Josh. I'm one of the PGY4s at Penn State. Sean Furlong is also on this call. He's going to be helping me out a little bit here with this presentation. We'll try to keep it pretty quick so that there's opportunity for questions. Sounds like we don't have too much time. So let's just get rolling. So our program's located in Hershey, Pennsylvania. That's in central Pennsylvania. A lot of good things to like about Hershey. It's definitely a little bit more of a kind of a suburb type feel, low cost of living. Definitely not some of the traffic that you would see in a bigger city like Philadelphia or Pittsburgh. So it's very easy to get around, which is very convenient when we're traveling to our different rotations. For people who have families, there's definitely great school districts and different activities for people. One of the big things is, the Hershey Park and Chocolate World. People are always, I guess that's kind of the big claim to fame here for Hershey, Pennsylvania. But there's definitely a lot of other things to do around the area in terms of activities. There's good places to hike. A lot of different artists and performers will come through and perform at Hershey Park at the stadium. So definitely an abundance of activities. And then also it's nice because we're pretty central to a lot of different big cities, Baltimore, DC, New York, Philly, the Jersey Shore, and even Penn State College. All of that's usually within 2 to 3 hours at most, but a lot of those are kind of like 1 to 1.5 hours. And then if you do need to travel, we do have Harrisburg International Airport. It is called international because it travels to Canada, but otherwise doesn't really travel too far. But we'll get you to most major cities in the U.S. All right, so a little bit about our program leadership. So Dr. Omanowski is our program director. Dr. Anaswamy is our department chair. Michelle Osterland's our coordinator. I think a lot of people are familiar with her just with her online presence. She's very active on social media. Like I said, Dr. Sean Furlong, he's accompanying me on this call. He is our administrative chief resident. And then there's myself. I take care of kind of the academic responsibilities as academic chief. These are just some of our faculty. I won't go through kind of all of them one by one, but essentially we do just have a lot of different staff to help manage the different areas in our rehab hospital and also in our consult services. We have faculty for peds, for spinal cord injury, for TBI, stroke. Just kind of a variety of pain management, stroke. I think I mentioned, but yeah, just a wide variety of faculty. All of these faculty members are excellent. We learn a great deal from them. So very lucky to have all of these members on board. So we have several different training locations for our residency. Our primary training will be happening at the Penn State Rehab Hospital, kind of self-explanatory, just with the nature of our field, but we also do consults at the main medical center at Hershey Medical Center. We do a little bit of work at the Lebanon VA. That'll be more during your senior years. And then we also recently added 2 additional medical centers for additional consult work, Holy Spirit and Hampton Medical Center. So those are new things that we added this year. So our program is constantly expanding, adding new rotations, just building upon our resident experience. So a little bit about the Penn State Rehab Hospital itself. So it is a standalone rehab hospital. So we are not connected to the main hospital, though the main hospital is only just 5 minutes away. But that being said, there are kind of different quirks involved with a standalone rehab hospital. We don't have a lot of the same resources that the main hospital has. We often need to kind of rely on the main hospital if we need more advanced diagnostics, things like CTs, MRIs. We don't have that in house. Um, but yeah, it's a joint venture with Select Medical as a standalone rehab. Just a few things. It's a CARF accredited institution, so we do a lot of work to try to make sure that we maintain that year after year. So that's something that our institution is proud of. So the different services that are available at our rehab hospital, kind of as we mentioned, spinal cord injury, traumatic brain injury, peds, pain, sports, EMG. We have board certification for all of our physicians that are there. So yeah, definitely a wealth of knowledge, all of the people that are working for that. But we also have internal medicine consultants that help us manage our patients, as well as nephrology. We'll get neuropsych involved as well. So abundance of consult services as well to help us with management of our rehab patients, in addition to kind of the things that we're doing. Obviously, with our therapy services, PT, OT, and speech goes without saying. We also have recreational therapists and pet therapy. And then the additional services as you see listed below. So our program specifically, we have 4 advanced positions available. We don't have any categorical positions at this time. We do, however, offer preliminary positions through the internal medicine residency program. So we do have residents that will kind of do their intern year at Penn State and then come join us starting PGY 2 year. You just can see some of the photos of our classes. Some of them are graduated at this point, but yeah, these are some of our residents. This is an example of kind of what the schedules will look like. This particular schedule is just our roster from this year. So the top 4 will be in descending order in terms of seniority. So the bottom, as you can see, PGY2s, as is common through a lot of residency programs, it's pretty inpatient heavy. As you start to advance, then we start doing a little bit more outpatient work. But this is just an example of what things will look like. Generally, our rotations are 1 to 2 months long, although with the exception of a couple of rotations that will be 3 months long, and that'll be our EMG, PEDS, and VA rotations. One of the big things that we've been building, as well as our research and QI curriculum, it's a bit of a longitudinal curriculum that we've been doing in addition to our didactics. So about 1/2 a day during each clinic week is dedicated to research as well. And then we have a resident research day that each resident will present in, as well as QI projects. And there's also opportunity for leadership within the realm of QI. We do have a dedicated QI champion. A resident will fill that position, and it also comes with a stipend. So our didactics themselves, we run on an 18th month cycle. So each sort of lecture portion you'll go through twice over the course of your residency, just with how the timing works out. Some of the nice things about it is that we get free weekly breakfast provided by our lovely program coordinator. But this is a protected time on Wednesday mornings from 8 to 11. So during that time, we don't have to answer pages. We forward all of messages to the attending on service, and the attending will take care of any needs so that we can focus on learning. Listed below, I won't go through all of them, but these are some of the topics that we'll cover over the course of our didactic schedule. Other educational sessions and opportunities. So monthly, we do M&Ms, journal club, grand rounds. Resident Research Day, we had already mentioned, but other opportunities, things like a career panel. We have invited alumni back to kind of just share their knowledge. We have a pretty extensive alumni network just to kind of tell us what they're up to after residency. It's very helpful, just having that as a resource. We also are pretty involved with our medical student interest group. We do workshops for them, showing them how to do neuro exams, MSK exams. I think we just recently actually had a Botox workshop with them. So yeah, a lot of different ways to get involved, not only for your own education, but for the education of the medical students, which is always helpful. Board review and SAEs preparation, and then also opportunity to present at conferences. I think in the past, we've always sent a good number of people to conferences, which is always a great thing. Call schedule. This is one of the big things that people like to ask about. So for our program specifically, we do home call for our PGY2s and PGY3s. PGY4s actually do not have to take call, which is one of the things that a lot of people look forward to, with the exception for July of your PGY4 year. We do like to give July off in terms of call for our new PGY2s, just to give them some time to adjust to the new setting of PM&R and rehab. But otherwise, other than that, we do not take call as fourth years, which is really nice. I'm sure Sean can attest. It's just something that's been really great. In terms of weekends, over the course of residency, you only have to work 6 to 8 weekends, which is really nice. We do work both weekend days when you are working, so it can be a little bit tiring. You'll work about kind of 12 days in a row, but after that, you probably won't have to work another weekend for quite some time. So, kind of a little bit rough in the moment, but after that, it's kind of smooth sailing. So, on the whole, I'm personally very happy with our call schedule, and I think a lot of other co-residents would agree. In terms of holidays, they're split up among the residents who are taking call. Usually, you only have to work 1 to 2 holidays throughout your entire time as a resident here. Some of the fellowships that we offer are brain injury, spinal cord injury, and pain management. The pain management fellowship is via the anesthesia department, so it's not run by our program specifically, but the brain injury and spinal cord injury programs are. Some of the benefits that we have as part of our program. So each year we get $750 in CME, so that can be spent on any sort of education related expense. We also get us $175 per quarter in food allowance at the main hospital. So that's always nice to be able to get lunch covered by that. We also are provided memberships to the professional organizations, AAP&R and AAP. We get some financial support to attend conferences. We get a full set of textbooks, free parking at all locations. I know some places, particularly bigger cities, that's something that you have to worry about, but it's not something you'll have to worry about here. Other opportunities, we do have moonlighting available for our seniors if that's something that you are interested in. Partners in Medicine support group for spouses and partners. And then also, as a senior, we are also given access to the Kessler Board Review course, and we're actually excused for the week from clinical duties to be able to attend that. Yeah, so like I had mentioned before, it's a very low cost of living here in Hershey, Pennsylvania, but we still have competitive stipends, which is really nice, especially if you're trying to save money, pay off loans. We have a pretty competitive salary, I would say, especially for the region, given that we have a pretty low cost of living. So you can see those listed here. And I think these slides will be shared. So I think if you ever need to refer back, these will be available. Community involvement is a big part of what we do here as well. You see a lot of these pictures of us in the blue shirts. That's with our yearly Rec Fest. So that's just a big event where we invite a lot of our patients with different disabilities to participate in different adaptive sports. We have a lot of vendors come out. It's a great time where we're just kind of raising awareness for the different opportunities that people can still participate in. But we're also doing other things in terms of adaptive skiing, adaptive golf. Some of us went up to help as medical staff for the Special Olympics this past year. So an abundance of opportunities to get involved with the community, which is something really great. And then resident life, we love to hang out with each other. So that's just another big thing. You can see there's just a lot of pictures of us hanging out. We're always doing things together. So I think that's just a big part, kind of a core of our programs, that we like to hang out with each other and kind of grow our relationships outside of the workplace. This is contact information. I've listed emails for myself and Sean, as well as Dr. Romanowski and Michelle. You can follow us on Instagram. That's something that we had just started this year. So we try to post on that just to keep people updated on the things that we're doing. But yeah, bit of a whirlwind of information. I know it's talking really fast, but please let us know if you have any questions. We'll open the floor now for that. I know we only have about maybe 5 minutes for that.
And I just want to quickly introduce myself. Nice to meet you all. I'm Sean Furlong. I think Josh did a fantastic job giving an overview of our program and what we like to do here in Hershey and what our program offers. Feel free to email us at any time. We love to hear from you guys. Thank you for joining us tonight, and we'll open the floor up for some questions. So the first one I see, are there any residents who have children in your program? So yes, actually, when Josh and I were PGY2s, when we were first starting out, I think almost all of the seniors had children. It's something that our program really welcomes and supports. One of our senior residents, Zach, has 2 children. And, you know, we get together for holidays and we love to hang out with his kids. So we're very open to that. And it's something that we support, definitely. And there's a message from Dr. Romanowski, our program director. Feel free to reach out if any of you have questions about Penn State PM&R. She'll be hanging around for a bit to chat. And she's been here for 9 years and loves living and working in Hershey. Next question, does our program have any opportunities to do global outreach? I don't know, Josh, if you're aware, I'm not aware of any residents who have done global outreach, but it's something that if you're really passionate about and interested in, I'm sure that there will be some support for that, absolutely. Any faculty who specialize in prosthetics and orthotics, limb loss elective PGY4? Yes, great question. So Dr. Grover is our limb loss specialist, and he is the one who's really spearheading this limb loss elective. Josh is actually on the rotation this month. He is the pilot for that, but it's something that Dr. Grover is very passionate about. He rotates us through the prosthetics and orthotics clinic. He rotates us with the wound care clinic, as well as his clinic as well. So it's something that's growing, and it's growing really fast at our program. Dr. Lopez is a grad from, Puerto Rico. He's fantastic. He is head of our student rotations, I believe, and is also a good contact for anybody who's interested. How often are your opportunities to volunteer with adaptive sports? We have a lot of opportunities, and those continue to grow, just like Josh said. We pretty much have different things for each season. We've gone skiing, we've done adaptive golf. We have Rec Fest, which is coming up in a couple weekends, and it's a full day event. So it's something that we definitely love to get involved with. And I personally enjoy volunteering at those events. Boy, having a hard time keeping up. Does your program have opportunities to volunteer at community clinics? Josh, any input on that?
I think in terms of community clinics, I don't know that we have any ones that we actively go on to a regular basis. I know there are more, I guess, in terms of like the sports medicine realm. Dr. Willer, who's our sports physician, will do kind of the sort of community clinics in a sense where she'll volunteer at different like schools, doing pre-participation physicals, things like that. But I don't know that there's necessarily community clinics that we go to regularly at this time.
And you'll have about 2 minutes remaining.
Okay. And just kind of going off that, so Josh mentioned we have a new consult rotation over at Holy Spirit, which is more of like a community setting hospital. You see different patients over there. It's not necessarily a community clinic, but it's definitely a good experience. And it's something that you do in your PGY2 year. So it gets you into the consult world pretty quickly, which I think is definitely a great thing for PGY2s to work through. I see a question about sports sideline coverage. Dr. Willer is a sports medicine attending. She actually went through our program and then did her sports training down in DC, and then is now back as an attending, and does a lot of sports coverage with the Harrisburg Heat, which is an indoor major league soccer team. She covers local high school sports teams. She covers up at or the local rodeo, which is actually really big here in Pennsylvania. It was something new for me to see, but really, really cool opportunity. So yeah, definitely a lot of opportunities. And like Josh said, our program is really growing. So if there's something that you're really passionate about, you can bring it to Dr. Romanowski. You can bring it to Dr. Anaswamy. They love great ideas, and they're willing to really support these ideas and make one of these ideas possible.